Her Journey to Healing, Reaching Women with a Desperate Cry is an 8-week Zoom seminar in which Kamala and Winston help women to start living their best life by rediscovering the image of God in their life. Kamala, a licensed marriage and family therapist, joins her husband of 16 years, an ordained pastor, to marry the clinical and the spiritual. You will begin living your best life filled with love, joy, and peace. Register at kwministries.net for this life-changing seminar.
The thing about that too, the mistake that I make often is try to love Kamala the way I want to be loved. Now, you know that's not love. That's me doing something to get something. Let me say it again. When you try to love someone the way you receive love. So for example, if I hear some good news and I get excited, I get really, really excited. And so if somebody tells me good news, I'm going to get excited. I'm going to get excited with that. And then I get mad because they're not getting excited. Well, that's really selfish. That's not reaching the person where they need to be met, but rather reaching the person where I need to be met in hopes of getting something in return. Mm-hmm.
You know, we in the therapy world like to feel like we know a lot of stuff, right? And so we talk about all kinds of different concepts, and we've done it all along the way. But nothing that we talk about is new as it relates to the Word of God. Here we are talking about how God is coming to get us, how we get to be now physically, not just mentally, a part of something.
Yes, Lord.
And so this was a concept that Maslow talked about a long time ago, love and belonging. He had this great hierarchy of needs, and if you've got safety and security, you've got shelter, you've got all of those things, then once you have that secure foundation, then you can focus on love and belonging. But here it is that God is saying you already belong. You don't have to worry about love and belonging in the way that Maslow talked about it. But the interesting thing is, just in the same way that Maslow identified that love and belonging is something that we need to thrive as human beings, here's where we're saying to you that, yeah, we agree. We do need love and belonging to thrive as human beings. We do need love and belonging to be able to experience care and compassion and empathy and having a place in the world. We do need love and belonging to be part of community. And yes, we're
in the kingdom of God. Good evening, and welcome to Monday Night Live with KW
Ministries. If you are live with KW,
if it's Monday night.
We weren't ready. Hold on. Let's start again.
Give us a mulligan. All right. Good evening. Welcome to Monday Night Live with KW and Jay. Jay is missing right now. He's running a little bit late. He's coming in, and if it's Monday night, you are live with KW and Jay. Okay? All right. I think we got it now. Good evening. Welcome. We're so excited that you're here and that you could join us on another Monday night. We know that Mondays can be challenging, but we're trying to be intentional about changing how we view Mondays. And so Mondays are celebration, thankful Monday. And I have a lot I'm celebrating tonight. But Kamala, what are you celebrating tonight? What are you thankful for?
So I am super duper thankful today, we got some really favorable, good, positive,
wonderful,
all of the niceness that you can think of news. You have heard us, good evening, Barb. You have heard us talk about our daughter and her journey with Crohn's disease. And today she got some really good news from the doctor saying that all of her levels are looking good.
All of her blood work from her last blood test is normal. Now, that doesn't mean she doesn't have Crohn's anymore. Right. We prayed that that's what that means. Hallelujah. We claim that in the name of Jesus. But what it means is that her blood work is not showing, she doesn't have any, she has normal blood work. And so we're giving God thanks and praise for that.
Absolutely.
I'm celebrating my wife, Kamala, just got her brand new book, A Journey to Healing, a therapeutic approach to finding who you're meant to be. And you know, there's a plug list. There it is. There's a plug list. There's a shameless plug. There's a shameless plug over here. That's why you know the one who normally does that. But I'll talk for you tonight. Okay. There's a shameless plug over here. Please, at any time throughout our program, head over to www.kwministries.net. There's some awesome stuff over there that you can get. And guess who is there when you get there? We're right there on the site also. But we want to welcome you tonight. We're so excited. What is it that we do here on Monday nights?
Well, before we get there, shameless plug, right?
Yes.
Before we get there, guys, this is exciting times. We have been telling you from week to week that we are putting out new content, and A Journey to Healing, a therapeutic approach to finding who you're meant to be, is exactly that. It is the new content you have been waiting for. So do not hesitate. Run, ride, take an airplane. Nope, you don't have to do any of those things. All you have to do is go to the link, www.kwministries.net/shop, and you can get that book. You can get a host of other books, devotionals. You can get
We just talked about Ari.
Yeah.
Ari's book is on there.
Ari's
Journey
book is
to
on.
Healing, Children.
So go browse, guys. Take your time. The website ain't going nowhere. So you can browse, you can take your time, and you can go through and go, you know what? This sounds like something that would go well with the new book.
I love that. I love that. All right. What is it that we do here on Monday nights anyway? As Annika gives you. Oh, no. Annika,
Bring that back up.
Yeah, you can go ahead while we talk and show the story.
So Monday nights, we are shopkeepers, but we are shopkeepers with a twist, right?
So now we're from Jamaica, and in Jamaica you have shops and you have shopkeepers. Well, people didn't just go to the store and bought stuff; they actually went and had conversations.
Yes, exactly. And so we're doing a little bit of that, right? So while you're browsing and shopping and doing all that good stuff, we also want to invite you to have a conversation with somebody just like you, somebody who's been through maybe an experience that looks a lot like yours. And maybe you'll hear something that kind of piques your interest, something that says, I'm not alone in the world, something that says to you, if that person did it, so can I.
And I believe our guest tonight is going to do that. He's going to do just that for you. I think we're in for a really good treat tonight. Before we introduce her, well, Pastor Gibson is not here yet. Please share with us what you're thankful for. We have a gift that we're going to give away. We want to give away a gift to two people tonight. Our guest is an author, and we want to send you her book tonight. So all you have to do, we see Miss Barbara Weidman is already in there for the runnings. All you have to do is comment, ask questions, talk with us, and you will be in to receive a copy of her book. Two persons are going to get her book, and we'll tell you before we end tonight how to get it.
The more you comment is the more likely you are to be in that running.
So, you know, my wife keeps saying that.
It's true.
Okay.
It's true.
I know that our producer spins a little wheel and the name pops up. Because I have seen where somebody came in at the last minute and won before.
Yeah, but your chances are higher.
Okay, all right. Well, we want for you to comment. Is Sister Brown on here tonight? Sister Brown, if you're there, I know you'll say good evening at some point. When I see you, say hello. I want to address you directly because I know that you're grieving at this time. And in case you're not on because of that and you're watching later, please know that Kamal and I are praying for you. Sister Brown, she has been faithful over the last several weeks on every Monday night being here with us. She's lost her dad, and we're praying for you, and you're in our prayers. All right. So tonight we have a very special guest. I think they're ready. Yes, there she goes. Tonight we have a very, very special guest with us. Her name is Nurse Gloria Ward. Nurse Ward was born and raised in Manchester, Jamaica, West Indies. She migrated to the United States, raised by her extended family after the tragic death of her mother at a very tender age. She's a registered nurse. She's an author. She is the author of a journey, My Journey to Success, Motherless and Fatherless. I Did It, You Can Too. And that's what brings her here. Let's welcome Miss Gloria. And let me say this quickly before I even go any further. There might be a delay. And so if there is, just work with us as we do that. Miss Gloria is going to unmute her mic. She's going to unmute her mic. And we are so excited and happy to have her here. Unmute for us, Miss Gloria. There we go. And again, I just want to remind you that we have a little delay. So if you hear a non-response, it's our delay. Okay, there we go. There she is. Hi, Miss Gloria. Oh, you muted again. Unmute again. There you go. All right. How are you doing?
I am great, thank you.
Wonderful. So, Miss Gloria, it's Monday, and on our program on Mondays, you have to say something that you're thankful for or something that you're celebrating. What are you thankful for tonight?
I am thankful to be alive today. Just
Yes.
the main fact that I woke up this morning, I'm not sick, I'm healthy. That's enough for me to be thankful for. So I'm grateful.
Super awesome. Super awesome. So let me tell you how I heard about Miss Gloria. My childhood friend, Otis, we went to school together as a child. He called me last week and he said, "Hey, I know you guys do this program on Monday nights. I have the perfect guest for you. She has a beautiful and amazing story." And so, Miss Gloria, I want for you to just start telling us about yourself, and we will interrupt you and ask you questions as we go.
Okay, no problem. So, as you had said before, I was born and raised in Jamaica, South Manchester. At the age of 5, I lost my mother. My sister at that time was 6 years old. And I don't really remember anything about her. The only thing I knew is that she was shot and she got killed. And so my sister and I, we grew up without our mother. And at the time, we had no father in our lives. So my aunt and my grandmother, they took over when my mom passed away. And so we were like beautiful churchgoers. And so we relied on faith. And because of that, today I could say that, I have the best influence in my life because normally kids grow up without mother or father and they do, you know what I'm talking about, the things that we don't want to have them do. But we didn't have to do that because even though she was gone, my aunts and my grandmother, they took us under their wings. And so church was it, prayers, everything. And through that, we made it through life. And
So let me ask you a
yeah, go
question
ahead.
here. You
Mhm.
started us off with this faith component. Because of faith, you made it through. So can you tell us a little bit more about what faith means to you?
Well, faith means for me, once you believe in Christ, all things are possible. I mean, my
Mm.
aunt, she was a Christian. And so she would wake up in the wee hours of the morning and she would pray and she would pray and she would pray. And she didn't know that I was listening. But growing
Mm.
up in Jamaica, we always sleep in the same bed. It's normal. And I
Mm.
would be in my bed the wee hours of the morning, sometimes 2 o'clock, 3 o'clock, and I would see her. She would get and she would go on her knees and she would pray and she would pray and she would pray and she would call our names because she knew we had no mother or father. So she would
Mm.
call our names. And so I grew up in faith. I grew up knowing what God really is. And so that took me through life,
Mm.
just relying on Him.
I have a question for you, Miss Gloria. So you watched your
Hmm.
aunt do that in the night, get up and just petition God for you guys. At what point
Hmm.
did that
Hmm.
faith that she displayed
Become
become
yours.
your faith?
That's good.
Become my faith. It's like
Mm-hmm.
we were church goers. So we would go to church every single Sunday. No Sunday
Mm-hmm.
miss it. She would grab us and she would take us to church. And so we would go like Sundays like 9 a.m. and to 3 p.m.
Mm-hmm.
And I would watch the pastor preach. I would watch the other church members sing, and the way in which they were, it was amazing. And
Mm-hmm.
so through faith, I know that all things are possible. So from that tender age, I knew that that was a calling that my God is great. My God is amazing.
Wow. 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 Um, you said that sometimes children who do not have mother and father, and full disclosure, Miss Gloria, I didn't grow up with my biological mother and father either. As a matter of fact, when we talked on the phone, you shared with me that you knew Neville Plummer, who took care of me from a child. So you
Mhm.
mentioned, so I
Right.
can relate. I can relate to you. You mentioned that sometimes children who are not brought up in that safe environment of mother and father can go
Mhm.
different ways, can stray differently.
Yes.
Tonight, maybe somebody
Yes.
is watching you and listening to
Mhm.
your story who did not
Mhm.
have the faith factor in their life. Maybe somebody's listening to you
Right.
tonight who did not have a family figure, grandmother or good adopted parents to take care of them, but
Mhm.
they've gone through life, and as a result, they're in a lot of pain. How what would you say to those
Mhm.
a person tonight who did not get have the faith factor, did not have the grandmother, did not have a loving adopted family, but had to literally drag themselves through life? What would you say to them as they're in pain tonight?
Just believe in yourself. Tell
Mm,
yourself, I can and I will. You're the only person who is responsible for your own destiny. Tell
mm,
yourself, I am going to do this. And if that is your passion, follow your dreams. I know it's not easy. Sometimes we will say things and we will think that, oh, that's okay. But it's easier said than done. But if you just believe in yourself, tell yourself that one day, because I had a dream when I was a little girl. I was 11 years old when I told myself I was going to be a nurse. 11 years old. And my reason for that is because my aunt took care of me when my mother died. And I told her one day, I said to her, I'm going to be a nurse when I grow up, and I'm going to take care of you. And her exact words to me was, when you grow up, you won't remember me. And I
mm,
remember I turned around and I said to her, you will see. And I grew up telling myself that this is what I want to be. And I became a nurse because I have the dream, I have the passion. So whatever you feel like you want to do in life, don't ever give up. If you have to speak with someone, if you have to talk with an elderly person, younger person, it doesn't matter, but speak with somebody. Tell them I'm going through XYZ and I don't have family members because as you just said, there are people who doesn't have family, but they still need somebody to rely on. Talk to somebody,
mm.
speak with somebody and let them know because if you have a dream, you can make that dream into reality. It is possible. All things are possible through Christ who strengthens us.
Yes. So, Miss Gloria, so all things are possible. You started off with that dream at 11 years old. Can you
11 years
walk
old.
us through that journey of getting there?
Okay.
What was that like?
How
Okay.
did nurse? How
So,
did you hop on the nurse?
oh, it's a very long journey, but I'll just give it to you shortly.
No,
I
we have
was,
a whole hour. Take your time.
Take your time with
yeah,
us.
okay. So I was like about 18 years old. I started working very young. And then I leave Rose Hill, Manchester. I went to Kingston and I started working at 18 years old, 17 years old. When I started working at 17, I had to take care of myself and my aunt. And then I had my daughter at 23 years old. After my daughter was born, I said to myself, I can't make it in Jamaica and take care of my daughter. So I'm going to go to the United States to try to help her. And then I migrated to Canada. And then when I went to Canada, it wasn't doing it for me.
Mm-hmm.
So I traveled over to the US. When I came to the US, I didn't have papers to work. I
Mm-hmm.
came as an illegal immigrant.
Mm-hmm.
I started working as a babysitter. I worked as a housekeeper. I did just about any job, just not anything that was illegal that would get me into trouble. So when I started working, I started saving my money because I knew that wasn't what I wanted. I wanted something more. I wanted to be a nurse. And
Mm-hmm.
so I started saving all my money, and every single cent that I get, I would put it towards my school fee.
Mm-hmm.
And when I started college, I had to do subjects that I didn't want to do. I had to do prerequisite that wasn't
Remedial
towards
work.
nursing because they knew I didn't have the papers. So they wanted me to do all the prerequisites, and I still did it.
Mm-hmm.
I made the sacrifice. And
Yeah.
so when I got into nursing school, I started at Litch. That was Long Island College School of Nursing. And then when
Mm-hmm.
I started school, I paid all my tuition. I didn't owe anything. I started just paying my tuition. Sometimes I was broke, didn't
Mm-hmm.
have money, didn't have anything, but I said, I am going to be a nurse and I am
Yeah.
going to finish school. And so I started the nursing program and I graduated in 2021, the first person in
Woo!
my family to actually get a degree for that. So thank you very much.
But hold on now,
And
hold on, because you're zipping over some really good stuff, and I can see my wheels in my wife's mind spinning, and like, okay, we got questions, because you're making this look so easy. Oh, I decided I wanted to go to Canada, and then I came from Canada, and I went to the U.S. And well, I didn't have my papers, and that wasn't easy. And from the
it was
sound of it,
not.
you went to the cold. That wasn't easy.
Oh
So
my God, you tell me
okay,
about
so
that.
slow down, slow down, and let's talk about this. All right. So real quick, the book is. Let's get the book up
Mhm.
there, Auntie. I want to show you. I want to show our folk the book. Miss Gloria wrote this book as she's telling us her story. You can get more detail in her book, My Journey to Success, Motherless and Fatherless. I did it. You can too. And I know she just said a whole bunch of stuff and made it sound so easy. Ain't nothing in what she just said was easy. All right. So I want
Nope,
to
it
slow
wasn't.
her down and I want to go back to we come to Canada. It's not working. Talk us through the disappointment that you felt,
Oh,
the difficulty, and how you overcame that.
okay. So at first, when I came to Canada, I could not get a job
Mm-hmm.
because you have to have legal papers to work there. So I babysat for a lady, a little boy. I took care of him for a while. It was so difficult because I wasn't accustomed to the weather and it was so cold there. Sometimes I felt like my fingers were frozen. I kid you not.
I
And
believe it.
Oh, we know.
at one at one point I thought my finger was a popsicle. That's how
Mm.
cold it was. And
Mm-hmm.
then but I said, you know what? I want to be a nurse and I have to work this money. Plus I have my
Whew.
daughter back home. It was so difficult. I was going through the worst separation anxiety in this world because every time I
Mm-hmm.
walk on the street, by this time she was only 7 years old.
Yeah.
And when I came here, I didn't tell her I was leaving. I didn't tell my aunt I was leaving because I didn't know where I was going. I was just taking chances.
Mm-hmm.
And so I wrote letters and I leave the letters back home. And I took the plane and I went to Canada. And so I call and I told them I leave letters for you guys to read. So they read the letter. And they were so surprised because nobody knew I was leaving my daughter behind.
Mhm.
Okay, at 7. And so every
Mm-hmm.
time I pass on the street, I would see these little girls and
Ah,
tears, I would tear up. I would
yeah,
cry
yeah.
because my child was there and I was here.
Mm,
But I did this because I had an aim in view. I
mhm,
had to take care of them. And so when
mhm.
I came over to New York, I thought New York was the what do you call it, the bed of roses. I thought I was coming to just pick the money from the tree
So
like
hold on,
chicken
hold on, hold on,
waiting
hold on,
to
hold on,
eat.
hold on, hold on. Let me ask you something. So when I grew up in Jamaica, what I heard was that
Mhm.
when I got to America, if I went into a supermarket, I could eat
Uh-huh.
anything I wanted to, and I didn't have to pay for it as long as I. Did you hear that too?
I heard that too. And
Okay,
I
all
would
right.
hear that because everybody would come down and they would dress and make you feel like they were on Broadway. So you came thinking that would be the same thing.
Mm-hmm.
So when
Right.
I came, I thought life would be so easy. I would just get
Yeah.
everything. Man, was I wrong? Because when I started working in Manhattan, I worked
Mm-hmm.
for this lady taking care of a little boy. I worked like 7 days a week,
Mm-hmm.
nights and days. I didn't go home. $150 for all 7 days.
Wow.
And so it was in Manhattan. So I had sleepless nights because you have all these cars passing by, all these fire trucks, these police, and I would be up with the little boy. He would cry all night. And I would be
Mm-hmm.
up with that little boy, and then in the morning, the mother would come and she would tell me, "How was your night?" And she would have this smile on her face like everything was okay. Mind
Mm.
you, she was a stripper, so she was out all 7 days for a night, and then she would come home and she would hand $150 in dollar bills. That was
Mm-hmm.
my pay for 7 days. And so after I leave there, I went all the way to Mount Kisco. You guys know how far Mount Kisco is, right? So I had to take the train to Mount Kisco to do another job in Mount Kisco. Man, I
Mm-hmm.
would sit on that train, and when I tell you the cold winter weather,
Mm.
I sat on that train, and sometimes 12 o'clock at night, myself alone at the train station. Thank you, Jesus. I always have to say that because I don't know how I survived through that.
Mm-hmm.
And even though at 12 o'clock at night when I want to go home, the family would tell me that I can't leave now. And you know what they would do? They would be in their pool, swimming, skinny dipping, and I couldn't leave to go home. But I told myself, I keep saying to myself, keep
Mm-hmm.
the faith, hold on, because
Mm-hmm.
one day there's going to be a light at the end of the tunnel.
Yeah.
Mm.
That's
Yeah.
my faith. And I keep,
Mm.
yeah, and I keep telling myself, don't give up, don't give up. And that's what takes me through that.
Mm-hmm.
Mm.
You know,
I
well, before I say what I'm going to say, I just want to acknowledge that we've had some comments that
yes.
have come in. Barb, we see where you said that, you were celebrating Mondays with us. I'm grateful for Jesus, his love, his blood, and his promise. Um, Brother Glenn, Daddy, I'm thankful for being alive today. God is good. I'm thankful for my granddaughter's positive report from her doctor today. And then we got a hello from Rosehill from Janice Grant.
I'm sure this is your
Janice,
guess. I'm sure. I'm
my
sure this.
cousin.
I'm
There
sure
we
this is
go.
your guess. Um.
So the thing that I keep hearing, and I heard it the first time you kind of zooped through the
I
story,
know.
but I heard it again just now, is you are just determined that
Yes,
no matter what obstacle came, if it came, that you were going to keep moving because you had a place
that's
that you
right.
wanted to get to. And I
Absolutely.
heard you also say that your faith was big in that. But when you're going through obstacles like what you went through, how do you maintain that determination? Talk to us about that.
When you felt like giving up, what stopped you from giving up?
Yeah.
I'm a very stubborn person.
Woo!
I'm like that since I was this little girl growing up, very stubborn.
Mm-hmm.
And I always tell myself if I am going to do something, there's nothing or no one except for the man above that can stop me from doing it. As
That's
long
right.
as I'm not doing anything to hurt someone, I will not
Mm-hmm.
give up. And so again, I would tell you, I would pray. You would think I would be like on my knees sometimes, the same way I saw my aunt is. I was like a prayer warrior. And I
Mm-hmm.
would go down on my knees. To this day,
Yeah.
you cannot tell me that I don't have a father above because I know I have one up there. Be- Mhm. Because I've proven it since then and I've proven it
Mm-hmm.
now. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Mhm.
Miss Gloria, I want to ask you something that's probably going to be a little bit triggering, but I think it's
Okay.
so crucial. You talked about walking on
Mhm.
the street of Canada and seeing little girls
Mm-hmm.
and thinking about your own baby.
Mhm.
Talk
Mhm.
to us about the guilt that you felt during that process. Then talk to a mother, someone who is on here now and they're listening to you and they're triggered by what you just said because life circumstance just put them in a position
Mhm.
where in order to do better what might have seemed because that separation, like you talked about the separation anxiety,
Mm-hmm.
but in seeing those children,
Mhm.
there was not just separation anxiety, but there was guilt associated with that. How did you deal with that?
Mhm.
How did you overcome that? And while your daughter was, like the rest of us in Jamaica whose parents were abroad, we were excited. But even in that, there is a
Right.
sense of they left me. How did you all work through that? And talk to a
Mhm.
mother, a parent who is going through that very thing right now.
Okay. So when I leave my daughter in Jamaica, I had a best friend in Jamaica. My
Mm-hmm.
best friend, she died now, bless her soul. And my sister was there also. My sister took care of my daughter while I was in Jamaica and I had to go to work. And I knew that they would take the best care of my daughter, but I did not want to leave her with them. My
Right.
aunt who took care of me when my mom died was like a superwoman. And
Mm-hmm.
so I knew exactly what I was doing when I leave there
Mhm,
because I know that she would
mhm,
take care of my daughter the best way possible. So the guilt
Mm-hmm.
was there because I couldn't be there physically, but I
Right.
mhm,
knew within my heart that I had to do that in order for her to have a
mhm,
better life. And I
Mm-hmm.
knew
mhm,
that my aunt would take the best care of her. And so what I did is I make sure when I work that I would make sure I provide for her in the way in
mhm,
which I would provide for her if I was there.
mhm,
You understand?
Right.
mhm.
Right.
At the
Yes.
same time, I'm trying to get her here and I'm trying to make sure that while she's not here yet, she was
Mm-hmm.
taken care of the best way I possibly could.
Mhm, mhm,
And so even though I felt so guilty, I still
Mm-hmm.
feel good that I was doing it because I knew that the hands that I leave her in were good hands.
Good hands.
mhm,
Yeah.
mhm.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Talk to now. Talk to someone who has gone through that, who
Or
or
is
is
going
going
through
through
it.
that. And
Hmm.
you talked about hope. You didn't use that
Right.
word, but you talked about hope. That I have a plan, I have a goal, and I'm working at it.
Hmm.
Talk to somebody who is going through that and encourage their heart.
Right. If you're out there and you're trying to do something and you know that it's something for the betterment of your children, I know it's going to be hard, and I know at times you will feel guilty. But at the same time, you have to remember that what you're doing is going to be beneficial to the child in the environment. When a child grows up, if they know exactly why you did what they did, then they will understand. But the guilt is always going to be there. You will never ever, be without that. But just do the best that you can. Don't leave them on someone and then just leave them there. Take the best care of them. Technology is good these days. We have phone. At least you could, call, talk to a person. And I used to like, oh my God, write letters to my daughter. I would like write letters, and then she would write back letters, and then she would write letters and tell me the only thing that you could do for me, the only present is to see me, come and see me. And at the same time, I was telling myself, don't be guilty. Don't feel guilty. You're doing the right
Right.
thing.
Right.
One day, because I know
Right.
my God, and I know one day things would work out. And eventually, yes, it did.
This is good.
Gloria, so that's big picture talk right there. That's being able to see, to look at far ahead and know, here's the thing that I'm trying to
So hold on a
get
second.
towards.
Miss Gloria, let me prep you, okay? My wife is a
Okay.
therapist, so she's coming in now,
Mhm.
okay? So just prep, okay?
Okay. I'm ready for her.
There you go. I like this woman.
Gloria's born ready.
I like her.
So so I'm hearing big picture, being able to look far ahead in the future and go, even though this is hard today,
Mhm.
that's where I'm trying to get to.
Yes.
That's
How do
right.
we learn that, Miss Gloria?
Yes.
How do we learn to be big picture people? And I'm asking that question specifically because we are microwave people. We
Yes.
like what we want right now, even if it means
Right
worse for
now.
us in the long run.
Right.
So how do we get to be
Well,
big picture people?
Good question.
where there you go. We go right back to faith. If you have faith and you believe in God, anything is possible. I read my Bible and I know the Bible tells you all things are possible through Christ who strengthens you. And if
Yes.
you only believe, I mean, if you ask for something, you might not get it at the same time, but don't give up. Continue to keep praying and continue to follow your dreams and go after it. And eventually, it takes a long time. Sometimes things take months, years, but eventually you
Yeah,
will get to that point.
yeah,
Mhm.
yeah.
You should never give
Success.
up. My advice is never give up.
Yeah, yeah. So, Miss Gloria, success. You were this big picture person. You had the goal to work towards. You saw it, you worked at it, you struggled through to get it. Tell us what success means to you.
Yes.
Success means, I would say that you go after something, you put a goal in place, and you go after that goal. And when you achieve the goal, then that's the success to me.
Mm.
When I started my journey to success, this book, it
Mm-hmm.
was, I started it when I was in college.
Mm-hmm.
And then I wrote the book and then I just like put it aside. And I said to myself, let it stay there. And then I would, each time I go on the street and I speak with someone and they would tell me about their life and I would tell them about my life and they would come and we would compare like I went through this and I went through that. And I'm saying to myself, oh my God, everybody have a story.
Mm-hmm.
Everybody have a story. In this life, there's ups, downs, highs and lows. And everybody go through these stages. But you should never ever give up. Just you can succeed if you just have faith. Have
Mm-hmm.
faith
Mm.
and hope, and you will always get there. Success.
Your faith came from hearing your aunt praying and spending quality time with God and you developed that, and that transferred, that she modeled that for you, and you saw that, then you claimed that faith as your own, and then you used that faith to then propel you through very dark times. As you
Very
look
dark
back
time.
now, and you remember the cold in Canada, the cold in New York, as you remember those people who were swimming at midnight when you wanted to go home, as you remember that, what are some of the things that are happening? What tell us some of the feelings that you go through as you process and you remember that?
Sometimes I want to tell you something. Sometimes I would talk to my children about it, and sometimes my family, and I will tell them, give them this story. People at work, I will tell them when I just came to this country, what I did, what happened, the struggles that I would go through, and they would tell me, "Oh my God, how did you do it? How did it?" And I would let them know, guess what? I had a plan. I had an aim in view. I knew exactly what I was going to do. And so sometimes when difficult difficult things come into your life, you just have to just tell yourself that, listen, this is not going to be forever. This is just a phase. We all go through these phases. And I always tell myself that I will tell people, don't ever think that because you're going through this today, it's going to continue with you forever. That too shall pass. I remember a friend at work, she always tell me that, Gigi, this too shall pass. This too shall
Mm.
pass. And so I always tell people, don't give up. Don't give up.
Hashtag
Keep the faith.
this too shall pass.
This
Hashtag this too
too
shall
shall pass.
pass. Here is what I have heard. Here's what
Yes.
I've heard from Miss Gloria tonight. I need a guiding post. I need something to look forward to. And so, for those of you who are listening out there, what is it that you're looking forward to? What is, and Kamala called it,
Mhm.
that big picture. What is it that you're trying to achieve, and recognizing whatever the obstacles that I have to go through to get there, I need to go through this stuff because I have something bigger in mind. I love this.
Bigger coming.
Big, bigger is coming.
Mhm.
Hashtag bigger
Yes.
is coming. Bigger is coming. Um, Brother Glenn says, I can relate with what Miss Gloria is saying. I lost both my parents before I was 9 years old. And it's only God and my determination that carried me through. I always seek guidance from older
Wow.
folks. And then Forbes
Wow.
Gaming says, determination is the key. This is so touching, Auntie Gloria.
Key.
You're a gem.
Hmm.
And then
Hmm. Oh,
Sister
thank you.
Sister Valentine says, Amen. The rough things will pass. And then Denise says, so proud of her. We went to primary school together. Okay, so this is somebody else Denise Watson. So proud of her. We went to
Denise
primary school
Watson.
together.
Yes, I do know
Yes.
her.
And I know her struggles, but she's always determined. She never gives up. Congratulations, Gloria. I'm so proud of you. This is so good. I
Well,
read the
thank
book
you,
and it sends
Denise.
tears to my eyes. Okay, this is Marsha. Marsha says, I read the book and it sends
My
tears to
niece.
my eyes. So this is, let me, how have you used this? And we know you've written the book, and we're putting it up here again. How have you used your story? How have you used your struggle to model for younger people? And Kamala talked about it earlier. And I was at lunch today with the administration of an elementary school. And we were having that very same conversation about parents and children wanting everything a microwave. Right. Nobody wants to struggle. Nobody wants to put in the time. Nobody wants to put in the work. How have you been able to use your struggles, your big picture mentality to model for others?
Okay. So I try not to I try to encourage people to, look on the brightest things of life. I try to encourage them to not focus on negativity. I'm a very positive person. So I always tell them to look on the positive things in life. You look in my book, you will see where I said to them just to eat, drink, and be merry. Because,
Ah, hashtag eat, drink, and be merry. Now, don't give away
yes,
everything. We need them to go get the book. So please, don't give away. What's in the bite?
yes,
But don't
yeah, I
give
don't
away
want to give
everything.
away.
We need them to go get the book,
Yes,
okay? And this is at
but I
Amazon.
would like, hmm
No, go ahead.
go ahead.
No, I was saying
Right, I
eat,
would.
drink, and be merry.
Mhm.
No, you go ahead.
I would like for the younger generation to realize that things doesn't come easy. I mean, in my days, we have to work from young days. I started working when I was like 7 years old. Okay, I no work is demeaning. Every work is work as long as you're earning an honest bread. So if you
Mm,
feel like later in life you want to do something, plant two potato slips, sell that. Do whatever it is to save a couple cents. And then because when you have your own money, when you have your own pride and joy, nothing is greater than that. So I
mm,
would encourage them to, go out and do things for themselves, be happy about life, as long as you're not doing anything to hurt anyone. You could be anything that you want to be in this life. When I was
mm.
younger, I didn't know that I would go to nursing school. I didn't know that I would be a
We're having a little bit. She's frozen right now. She will be back with us. It's Miss Gloria. Miss Gloria's journey to success, motherless and fatherless. I did it, and you can too. And so we want to encourage. Are you back, Miss Gloria? There you are. You were saying that when you were little, you didn't
yes,
see
I'm
nursing
back. I'm
school.
back. Right. I started thinking about it at 11. So when I was like 7, 8, I started doing little jobs here and there. My grandmother was still alive, so my sister and I, we used to go to someone close to our house and we would like pick a little potato, slip things like those, and you get your own little money. So I knew what it is to have your own. So if you want something, just not just dream, make that dream become a reality because it can happen. If it happened to me, it can happen to you too.
Make that dream become a reality. If it happened to Miss Gloria, it can happen to you. And you can know everything that happened to Miss Gloria. All you have to do is head over to Amazon.com, and the book is My Journey to Success, Motherless and Fatherless. I did it. You can too. I'm trying to see where the price is. It is on Kindle for $8.99, and it is hardback for $25.95. All right, so it is. Here it is. Here it is. So it is My Journey to Success, Motherless and Fatherless. I did it. You can too. And listen, comment. We see there's way more of you watching than are in the comment. We're gonna send you a copy. We're going to send two of you a copy of this book before the night is over. Somebody asking Miss Gloria, how was your reunion with your daughter when you and your daughter were reunited? How was that?
Oh my God. It was heavenly. I mean, she came here when she came, it was heavenly. Because when I leave her, she was 7 years old. So when she came to this country, she was 12 going 13. So those are many years. Right? So it was heavenly. When I saw her, I felt like I was in heaven. And I told myself at that point, it pays off. It pays off. It was worth it. It was worth it. Yes.
Mm.
I've been thinking about this next question, Miss Gloria. You know, you talked a lot about your aunt, your grandmother, the people that were really there for you in your early years and really shaped your ideas about faith and
Mhm.
what it meant to really work hard and be determined. Are there other people that you encountered along your journey
Yes.
that
Oh, yes,
were, tell us
absolutely.
about those people?
Absolutely. So I have this friend of mine that we work together at the nursing home. It was like an adult daycare program.
Mm-hmm.
And my friend Des, she's like a prior warrior myself. And she and I, we would talk about faith because her faith is similar to my faith. And
Mm-hmm.
her children, she had similar issues with her children because
Yeah,
she came
yeah.
to this country before they did. And so
Mm-hmm.
we will work together and she would tell me, Gigi, she always called me Gigi, and she would tell me, Gigi, let me tell you something. I wish I had your faith because my
Mm.
God, you are not one person to play with. He said, Gigi,
Mm-hmm.
you encourage me, you know? And I always have like, I have this aunt, her name, Prim. She too
Hmm.
was one of those people who, I could run to because when my mother died, I
Mm-hmm.
didn't remember her. I didn't remember anything about my mother. I didn't even know her, to be honest with you. No pictures, nothing, because in those days you didn't have pictures and anything like that to look at. So I didn't
Mm-hmm.
know anything at all about her. I didn't have a father, nothing. So I would go to her and I would get little bits and pieces about her. And then other family members, I would sit and I would talk to them and they would, try to navigate this life with me and let me know, what to do. And then I have this particular person who I'm telling you, that's my prior warrior. We went to college together. And she
Mm-hmm.
and I would sit in the wee hours of the night. And I'm telling you, we would pray, we would pray, we would pray. And we would
Mm-hmm.
encourage each other. Yes, prayer, 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 and more prayer. And we will always tell each other, don't ever give up. Don't ever give
Mm.
up.
Yeah.
Because sometimes you feel like giving up. But
Mm-hmm.
when
Mm-hmm.
you have somebody telling you, don't give up, don't give
Mm-hmm.
up,
Yes.
it helps to
Yeah.
propel. Yeah.
Yeah.
So,
Come on,
How?
before you ask, do you see it again?
Of
You
course.
hear it? We need people.
Yeah.
We
Yeah.
need each
And I
other.
knew it
You
was
have
there. And
somebody
it's
telling
not
you never give up, never give up.
absolutely.
yeah.
Miss
Mhm.
Gloria, somebody again, there's the whole point of sharing our stories is so somebody else can get inspiration to continue along their journey too.
Hmm.
And
Mhm.
so, what would you say to somebody who is, again, maybe they're in a similar spot to where you once were, or maybe they're
Mhm.
navigating some other challenge in their life, whatever it is? What would you
Mhm.
say to that person about the importance of having the support of like minded people along your journey?
Yes.
Right. I would tell you that, surround yourself with people who are positive. It's very important. Surround yourself with people who are going places.
Mm-hmm.
People who have faith and knows that there is someone that is protecting us. Surround
Mm-hmm.
yourself with those people because sometimes you're around people and the negative vibes that they have, it could rub off on
Preach, Miss
Yes.
Gloria.
you. Yes, it can. It can rub off on you. But if you surround yourself who are with people who are positive, who are going places, you
Mm-hmm.
can never go wrong. Because a
Yes.
lot of people they told me they said I wish I knew you before now. I wish I knew you before then because the things that they're going through and I like to encourage people. I like to tell them,
Mm-hmm.
you could do anything in this life. You could do
Yeah.
anything. And I always, always, always tell them that because for me, it works for me. So I would encourage them, surround yourself with positive people. And that's it. Positivity.
Kamala, let me ask you this. How important is it for us to give ourselves permission to do just that. Because I remember once I told a group, you were there, we had a group of young people, and I shared with them that I told my children that my daughter, my oldest daughter, tell my children that they need to become friends with the smartest person in the room. And there was some pushback. So what are you trying to say? They shouldn't be friends with people who are not smarter than them. How do you relieve yourself of the guilt and give yourself permission to say, hey, I want to choose who I'm going to associate myself with. I want to choose who I'm going to allow speaking to my spirit. How do I relieve myself of the guilt of, well, they're thinking I think I'm better than them?
You know, I think it goes back to something that Mr. Gloria said earlier. We have a goal, right? We have an aim. We have somewhere
A
that
guiding
we're trying
post
to get to. And because I choose to surround myself with individuals that are like-minded and are positive and supportive, doesn't mean that those other people are
Don't
terrible
matter,
or they
right.
don't matter.
Right.
And that's where I think the struggle is.
Right.
We think that if we choose this doesn't matter.
Right.
That's not true.
Right.
But
Exactly.
in charting a life, sometimes I make decisions and I'm
That's gonna
doing
impact.
intentional things that's gonna impact something else.
Right.
And so it's okay. It's okay to pause, just like you said, use the same language. You know what? I'm gonna give myself permission to aim higher. And I'm gonna give myself
That's
permission
right.
to surround myself with people that are also aiming
Trying
higher.
to aim that way.
And by doing that,
Yes.
what we don't know is sometimes
We pull up.
that influence is going to pull
Pull
up.
up.
You pull the other people. There you go.
Absolutely.
There you go.
That's good.
Because when we
There you
don't, I'll
You're
wrap it
fine,
up
you're
here.
fine.
When we don't, oftentimes we end up being the stumbling block for somebody else who might have
Right.
gotten to a different place
Right.
if I had been different.
That's good. Ms. Gloria, let me ask you this question. There is a saying, manners will get you through the world. You remember that? Let me ask you this question.
That's it, of course.
How did being nice to people help you? Now, there were dark days. And I can only imagine, I wasn't there with you, but I can only imagine how dark some of those days were. But how did being nice to people help you to navigate these very challenging situations that you faced?
Okay. Well, I'm not always nice. I'm not going to lie to you because sometimes you have to be, because I'm a very outspoken
Strong,
person.
right.
And I'm a very strong person. And so sometimes I would say things to people that they would rub it the wrong way. And I'm not going to lie and say I'm always nice to people, because if I say that, you will know I'm lying. But the ones that I'm nice to, I will tell you this much. I will encourage them and I will let them know that, listen, I'm not going to lie to you. I'm not going to tell you something that you want to hear.
Yeah.
If
Right.
you're doing something that's wrong, I'm not going to tell you that you're doing something right.
Right.
That would be doing myself a disservice, because at least
Yeah.
I am going to let you know that you're doing this wrong. That's how you're going to change.
Right.
So I can't
And
be
you know
nice
what?
to you at all times.
Right.
You know
Right?
what, Mr.
I
Gloria?
will
Right.
be nice. Yes, absolutely. But I'm not going to tell you something that you want to hear. Sometimes the
Right.
truth hurts, and then sometimes you have to really tell people how you feel. Because I have friends that would come to me and they will tell me, oh, I'm going through this in life and that in life. And then when you're giving them the solution, they don't want that solution because they think that you're telling them the wrong thing, right? But I'm not going to be Mrs. Nice and say, okay, do this or do that just because you want to hear that. But be nice. I can be very, very nice at times. And I'm giving
Let
You
you
me.
know, you know though, to respond to what Miss Gloria just said, sometimes the nicest thing we can do for people is
It's to
be
tell the
honest
truth.
with them.
Yes.
tell the truth.
Yes,
Yeah,
that's very true. That's very true.
yeah.
But I want to follow
Mhm.
up with this question though, because I still do think there's something here to explore. Oh, Miss Gloria, our time is gone, but I still want to get this question in because I think this is crucial. As you navigated New York in those early days, and as you navigated Canada in those early days,
Mhm.
how helpful was being able to say, please, thank you, no, sir, no, ma'am? How helpful were those words to your vocabulary?
It was very helpful. Sometimes you don't want to say it, but you just say it because helpful because you want. Sometimes I pass people in the elevator and I would say good morning, and they would just look at me and just turn around like I was crazy because
That's
this
New
is
York.
not the norm. I don't think it's the norm here. In Jamaica,
Mhm.
people passing on the street, they don't know you. They wave, they say hi, they say
Mhm.
bye.
Mhm.
Here, it's a different thing. But I always say thank you, please, hello. Sometimes you don't want to say it, but you just say it because for me, my inner peace, it helps me. So sometimes,
That's right.
I'll do it. Yeah.
That's right. We're going to give you the last word in a second. Let's see who all won your books. All right, Miss Annie K, it's all yours. Let's see who our winners are on tonight.
While Annika is spinning that reel, I just want to point out Joy Mullins'
Oh,
statement.
yes.
She said, "This is so touching. Well done, sister."
Joy
Yes.
Mullins.
Yes.
Yes. And somebody was just saying, yes, that's her. Eat, drink, and be merry.
Yes. All right.
Let's
More
see
looking
who
That's
our
my
at
winner
favorite
is.
word.
All right,
Mr.
Sister
Valentine.
Stinky Pants.
Valentine. You are a winner tonight
Winner
for
number one.
my journey to success.
All right.
Let's see how our second person is.
Denise
And Miss
Watson.
Denise Watson. You are a winner tonight. So here is what you have to do now to get your book. Here is what you have to do now, Sister Valentine and Miss Watson. You have to go over to www. As a matter of fact, Annika, if we could put it in the comment section, just put it so that way they can click right on it. www.kwministry. We're going to put it in the comment section so that you can click right on it and then fill out that form. Let's make sure. Oh, come on, Nelly. Now is when you're going to comment. Now it's 9 o'clock. We already spun the wheel. But thank you for being here.
www.kwministries.net/claim your prize. There it is.
There it
in
is.
the chat box.
All right, so Denise Watson and Sister Valentine, we thank you for coming anyway, Nelly. Thank you very much. We're grateful. Please click on that link, fill out that. We will order the books. Once we order it, we will send you the receipt, and then then Amazon will ship it to you. Miss Gloria, this was such a pleasure talking to you. I know it was so nice learning from you. I'm leaving here with have a guiding post. I'm leaving here bigger is coming. I'm leaving here it won't last forever. Just be patient. I'm leaving here with you're gonna have to work hard. You have to get your butt up and work. It's not gonna just happen. Nobody's gonna give it to you. You have to work hard. I'm leaving here with it won't last forever.
And that piece is what I'm taking away. That piece of determination.
Yes.
Just keep at it.
Yes. Miss Gloria, you get the last word, ma'am.
Okay, I thank you guys so much. This has been amazing. I wish you guys all the best, all the success, and I shall be tuning into your ministries because faith took me through this whole journey, and I will continue to be on the faithful journey. Thank you very much, and I appreciate you guys.
Well, we want to thank you with all of our hearts. And we want to thank all of you who came on to support your aunt. Nally just said, we want to thank all of you that came on to support your friend. We want to thank all of you that came on who are our regular viewers. And all of you who just stopped by tonight. Of course, we would love to have you. Miss Denise said, I'm at work, but just had to steal some time to listen to this interview. And I want her book. Good for you. Good for you. Please fill out that form so we can send that to you.
And so if you didn't win tonight, guess what? You can still be a winner. Please jump on out to Amazon and get.
Where is it, Anne? Can we put that back up?
Get Miss Gloria's book.
Let's put the Amazon back up real quick. And I know we're out of time, but can we put the Amazon? Here we go. All right.
There we go. Jump onto Amazon and get My Journey to Success, Motherless and Fatherless. I did it and you can too. And don't just stop there. Jump on over to kwministries.net/shop and check out some of our content as well. We got some good stuff there for you.
Right.
Hey, listen, if it's Monday night,
you're live with KW
and Jay. Peace.
Thank you so much. Have a nice